Today we are going to study part 4 of chapter 1 tissue, and the topic is animal tissue. See students, we had finished our topic plant tissue. Okay, animal tissue is related to animal. Students, humans also comes into the category of animal. Okay, so in this topic we are going to study types of tissue found in animal body. Okay, once again I am telling you this, that animal include humans also. So if we talk about types of animal tissue, there are broadly 4 types of animal tissue found in a animal body. Okay, first one is epithelial tissue, second one is connective tissue, third one is muscular tissue, and fourth one is nervous tissue. If we talk about epithelial tissue, students, the covering, okay, the covering of body, organ, everything is made up of epithelial tissue. So if we describe epithelial tissue, we can describe in such a way that epithelial tissue is a covering and protective type of tissue. Okay, means a group of cells which helps in the formation of cover or which perform the function of protection comes into the category of epithelial tissue. Okay, now the connective tissue. Connective tissue basically, students, support, okay, and also bind the other part of the body to other part. So basically connective tissue contain such type of cells and tissue which connect the body from one part to another part and also which support our body. So basically blood, skeleton system, everything comes into the category of connective tissue. Now what is muscular tissue? Every muscles, for example, they are responsible for what? They are responsible for contracting, relaxation, and also for which function? The muscle perform which function? It provides you strength. Okay, so all types of muscles found in the muscular tissue. Okay, now nervous tissue. Nervous tissue are basically responsible for students to respond something. We respond to our body, or our body responds to something just because our body contains nervous tissue. Okay, so nervous tissue contains nerve cells, and we also know that nerve cells is responsible for the formation of our central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Okay, students. So once again, we will just revise it. That animal tissue contains epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. And again, epithelial tissue contains several parts, connective tissue contains several parts, muscular tissue contains several parts, nervous tissue also contains several parts. So these 4 are broadly distinguished between animal tissue. Okay. Now students, one thing more I wanted to tell to all of you, that if we talk about epithelial tissue, we are talking about the covering. Okay, we are talking about the covering of body or organ, means they perform the process of or the function of protection. Now if we talk about the connective tissue, students, connective tissue are those tissue which bind our other body part to one body part and also perform the function of support. Okay, if we talk about the muscular tissue, the cardiac tissue means muscles related to your heart, the smooth muscles, the hard muscles, the voluntary muscles, the involuntary muscles. Each muscle comes into the category of muscular tissue, means your body contains the muscles part. Okay, student. So every muscle comes into the category of muscular tissue. Now the last one is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue contains nerve cells, and the group of nerve cells contain a nervous system, and nervous system is made up of nervous tissue. Okay, student. Now we will study all the 4 parts of animal tissue from our book. So students, open your book and
Now on your screen, students, you are able to see the diagram, the flow chart which I had drawn on the board, that is division of animal tissue. First one is epithelial, then connective, then muscular, and then nervous. So if we talk about the epithelial tissue, students, the epithelial tissue contain squamous, cuboidal and columnar epithelium. See students, the figure 1.10, the first diagram is showing the structure of epithelial, squamous epithelium. Okay, the second one is showing cuboidal epithelium, third one is showing columnar epithelium. See, in squamous epithelium the cells are flat in the structure, okay, but in cuboidal they are in cube like structure, and in columnar they are in column like structure. So the function of squamous epithelium is protection of underlying tissue. Now the cuboidal, the function of cuboidal is absorption and secretion, formation of gametes, and the function of columnar is absorption and secretion. Okay. If we talk about the structure, so the squamous epithelium are flat scale like, the cuboidal epithelium is cube like, and the columnar is cylinder like. And where it is found? The squamous epithelium is found in the underlining of skin, alveoli, blood vessels, buccal cavity and body cavity. If we talk about the cuboidal, they are found in the linings of kidney, germinal epithelium in the testis and ovary. If we talk about the columnar, it is present in the pharynx, pharynx means the windpipe, students, stomach, intestine and sweat and sebaceous gland. Okay. Now there are some specialized structures, students. See in figure 1.10, ciliated epithelium, glandular epithelium and sensory epithelium. So all the three are the modification of columnar epithelium. If columnar epithelium contains cilia, cilia is just brush like projection, student. If it contained cilia like projection on the columnar epithelium, they were known as ciliated epithelium. If they contain any gland, they are known as glandular epithelium. If they contain any sensory, means sense cells, they were known as sensory epithelium. So basically students, where the glandular epithelium will be found? Glandular epithelium will be found in our skin, because their sweat and sebaceous gland in the is found. Sensory epithelium will found where the sense organ like nose, ear, taste bud, etc. After that, students, see the second part is connective tissue. As I had told to all of you, connective tissue is that tissue which connect all over the body. In that you have to study connective or binding tissue, skeleton or supportive tissue, fluid or transporting tissue. See students, in this diagram, see the first connective tissue is connecting tissue. Connecting tissue is a part of connective tissue. Areolar tissue, adipose tissue and fibrous connective tissue. Now what is areolar tissue, what is adipose tissue and what is fibrous tissue? If we talk about the areolar tissue, these are the tissue which contain fibers, okay, means they work the function of binding something, okay, means they bind in between the cells or inside the cells. For example, the body, the organs, they are bind together with the help of these areolar tissue. If we talk about the adipose tissue, see students, this pink color diagram, these are the tissue which contain fat globules, means inside that the fat is stored, okay. So basically they are found beside our skin. Now the third one is fibrous connective tissue. If we talk about the fibrous connective tissue, student, fibrous connective tissue contain two parts. First one is tendon and second one is ligament. So what is tendon and what is ligament, student? Ligament, see in this structure, students, the ligament is joining bone and bone. So if bone and bone are joined together, they are joined with the help of ligament. But if the bone is joined with the muscle, they are joined with the help of tendon, Okay students, so once again revise, inside the connective tissue there were three things: connecting or binding tissue, skeleton tissue and fluid tissue. We had studied connecting tissue, in which areolar tissue was there, adipose tissue was there, and the fibrous connective tissue was there. Fibrous connective tissue contain tendons and ligaments. Now the skeleton tissue basically contain what student? They contain bones and cartilage. See the structure of bone, it is a structure of long bone, see figure 1.13. Okay. So our whole body skeleton system is made up of skeleton tissue. And what is skeleton tissue contain? Skeleton tissue contain all the bone, all the cartilage of our body. Now what is the difference between bone and cartilage student? Bone are the harder one and cartilage are the softer one. See our nose, it is able to move, it means here cartilage is present, not bone. And from where we are not be able to move, their bone is present. We can only move our bone where the joint is present, means where two bones are joined together. We cannot move a bone in between them. Now third one is fluid connective tissue. So in fluid connective tissue what we have to study is our blood and lymph. Now firstly you have to know what is the difference between blood and lymph. See students, blood is red in color but lymph is not red in color because it does not contain any kind of RBC, and thus because there is no RBC, the lymph is not red in color. Okay students. So if we talk about blood contains three things: RBC, WBC and blood platelets. See figure 1.14, the first diagram is RBC, the red color, the second is WBC and third one is platelets. RBC is the component of blood due to which the blood is red in color, because RBC contain hemoglobin. After that the WBC is white in color, and platelets is a fiber like structure for which blood clotting is responsible for blood clotting. And why WBC is important? Because they kill pathogen, means harmful foreign particles. If we talk about the lymph students, it is a filtered form of blood. Okay, means the blood which is filtered now is lymph, and it helps in exchange of substance between blood and body tissue, means they work in between body tissue and blood. For example, blood contains something and they transport that thing to body cells. Body cells excrete something into blood, so in between them the lymph is found. After that students, see the function of connective tissue. Connective tissue binds various tissue and organs together, as I had told to all of you. Now the muscular tissue. If we talk about the muscular tissue, see student, in figure 1.15 there are three types of muscular tissue: striated muscles, non-striated muscles and cardiac muscle. So striated muscles are basically hard muscles which is known as voluntary or skeleton muscles, means those muscles which we are able to move with our willpower, means you are able to move your hand with your willpower, you will able to move your leg with your willpower. So striated muscles are those muscles. Now non-striated muscles are smooth muscles, okay, and they are involuntary, means you cannot govern the movement of non-striated muscle. For example, I am sitting here, suddenly some noise will come and I will turn my head there. So this movement is not under my control. If the sound will come, this is a reflex action. So these contain smooth muscles. And now the cardiac muscle. What is cardiac muscle students? Cardiac muscles are those muscles which is situated or which is connected to our heart, because we cannot control our heartbeat. If heart is beating, it will beat. We cannot control that, and that contain cardiac muscles. Now there is one term is given, student, myofibrils. What is myofibrils? Each muscle's fiber is formed of highly contractile myofibrils. So basically the muscles are made up of muscles fibers, and the muscle fibers contractly called myofibrils. Okay. Now the last one is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is basically, student, a group of nerve cells, and nervous tissue constituently forms nervous system. So basically inside this, student, see, you are touching here or you are getting hurt here, but your brain gets the message. The brain gets the message because your nerves are connected to one another and they send the message to brain. So this is nerves, and the system is called as nervous system. The whole connection or network of nerves present inside your body is known as nervous system. So basically, student, the nervous system is made up of nerve cells, and nerve cells group together to form nervous tissue. After that, student, the location of nervous tissue is your brain, spinal cord and sense organs. Where it is found? Brain, spinal cord and sense organ. Working of neuron in such a way that the end point of one nerve cells is connected to the starting point of one nerve cells. If we see the structure of one cell, see, student, it is the cell body, okay, cell body or cyton, there is dendron, then axon, and this is axon ending. So the neuron is connected in such a way that axon ending of one neuron is connected to the dendrites of another neuron. Then again that dendrites connected with the axon of this one, and then axon of that dendrite is connected to the dendron of another one. So one another, they are connected to each other in such a way, if we get some stimulus, the message will get to our brain. Stimulus means, students, the external change. Okay, student, hope you are able to understand this. Okay, now we will do our exercise work in our next lecture, or we will start our next chapter also.